Well, as we get in towards the last week of January, we've had all sorts of weather this week. We've gone from the hard frosts, really icy conditions, to dark grey dreich weather, through windy weather. One or two. Yesterday turned quite sunny in the afternoon, and today is quite a nice day. There's a watery sun up there in the sky, peering through the clouds, and it's not too cold, so I'm out getting some work done. A lot of the tidying up to do. I haven't done the raised bed yet. It's not been done yet, but I'll get down to that. But I'm working on the other areas. Yesterday I managed to get all the leaves, most of the leaves lifted away from here that were still lying. Tidied up the erythronium beds, so got all the leaves and the debris off of them. A fresh mulch over the top. The same with the rock garden. Got all the leaves off, and there's so much coming through. All the new growth. Won't be long before we see lots of the flower in there. We come round past the lantern to the bulb bed, and here's where we'll start to see some of the different snowdrops in flower. They come on remarkably quickly. So what are they? Well, they're snowdrops. Some of you experts might know what all these different ones are, or are they different? I just like them for coming up, and these are the earlier ones. Some really quite big clumps now. They're doing well. Some of these will be split up this year, I think. The arum. Lovely leaves. I showed pictures of that last week. Frozen, solid, lying flat on the ground. Ooh, I've just seen there's a tiny wee cyclamen flower. Just spotted that. See, when you get down you spot things. The hellebore is a weed. Never pass a weed. And more snowdrops. This bed will soon be so much more. I can see more short snowdrops, tiny little ones just coming through, a nice clump, and then these bigger ones at quite an advanced state. More here. Here's not snowdrops, but some narcissus. And then over here we have leucodium. Lots of leucodium. There's the first one starting to just show their flowers. And so we go over the bed, and if we turn round we can see here this area being cleared. Some of the new shreddings spread out further over the older shreddings, and likewise here this is shreddings from the compost heap. So all that last year was the hedge getting trimmed last year and then mulched. Nice fern. I've not taken the leaves off of that fern. It's like open underneath. So let's go round past the rock garden here. To look down the colchicums, but it does let me see. I say never pass a weed, but I could be here for a while. There's lots of these little cardamines, the bitter crested poppers. They grow all year round, so I will come back. Here's a bigger one, let you see. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. So just when you pull a weed, by the way, don't pull it straight up, pull it at an angle, and you'll pull all the roots up. Always pull at an angle. So if we go down the back path, next to the head, there's around the base of the tree here with the ferns, there's narcissus and leucodium, and there's more leucodium coming there, and a fern, Lots of ferns along the hedge here. Across the rhododendrons, the back of one of the trillium beds. So the bed's looking quite quiet just now. Getting there with the mulches. Round, I won't go up to the... If we go through that archway, it takes us to the pond and the new bed, but there's not much going on up there, so I'm just going to get round there. Just getting worryingly dark. I'm just wondering if the rain's coming in, because I'm just taking a break. I'm busy. Oh, I've just felt the first spot of rain on my hand there. So here's the... Still working. I'm just taking a break to do this. So I've got my leaf vac which soaks up the leaves, pulls them up and shreds them a bit, and then I can spread them. And then down here we've got the other one that I just use for blowing them. And you can see where this is getting tidy along here now, along the edge. Getting tidied. Once the leaves are lifted and shredded, they can just be spread back as a mulch. Nice hellebore in there, and under there's the stone that I showed in last week's bulb log. Galanthus warrenoi. So this is just the outside. Salmisias, of course they look good all the year round. Snowdrops coming up through the Corydalis. Coming around as well, all sorts more. Here's a nice little clump here. I just split these up, and these I moved. I split a clump last year and moved a number of them around here to spread them out. I much prefer plants spread out, you know. I'm not... Although it's nice to have clumps. What you get with clumps, they get so congested. This is a clump of warrenoi. Really congested, all those leaves, all those little bulbs competing in the same tiny area for the moisture and the nutrients, and so they kind of starve. You don't often see clumps in the wild, and there's a good reason for that, because in the wild a clump is at a disadvantage. It will soon produce fewer and fewer flowering size bulbs, and the competition becomes so intense that they start to kill each other out almost. Compare that to this little group, which is a bit I must have split off on it the other year. A bit more spaced out, flowering well, but even that I would ideally like to space it out further. We look up in the bed, hear this giant spread of a cyclamen. That's one plant. And let's just come round to finish. Molly, my intrepid Westie, out helping me. Well, Megan I think's lying on my chair inside. So if we come down, we can just finish on this little spot. Some more snowdrops here near the house. A nice group there. All slightly different. I say I'll finish, but I think actually I'll just move round here towards the cobble bed, which is a sand bed I covered in cobbles to stop the mice eating the crocus. You see it's working. The main corm here was obviously eaten, but what's happened is a whole lot of little cormlets have formed around the bit that was left. Snowdrops, yellow snowdrop, and there's some green tipped snowdrops and some aranthus in the background. So here I will finish for this short video. So this is the garden just starting to wake up in last week of January.